Hey, what's up guys? It's Marv and welcome to Paris. By the time you're watching this video, the track will have been in multiplayer for a couple of days. I'm actually pre-recording this video so I can publish it on the weekend because I'm going on an interesting trip. But either way, hopefully you guys have had the opportunity to play on Paris with a couple of different cars. So of course, before I get into my own thoughts, I would really appreciate it if you guys could leave your comments about how you feel about the track so far. And obviously the very big discussion is going to be around whether or not this is a top speed focused track or not. And to be honest, my initial reactions to this question on this track is very mixed because I had a lot of trouble keeping my cars like the Aranera and the Apollo N at their top speed for a vast majority of the track. Not necessarily because the track was too narrow, but because even though it seems like the corners are very long and not very sharp, it feels like I'm always constantly turning, so therefore my car doesn't have a lot of time to get to its top speed. Now, in addition to this, one of the most important things for top speed cars is getting enough nitro to get shockwave or go off of a barrel roll and continue in double nitro the whole time. And that is really not the case with a lot of the ramps on Paris. They're very flat, which means oftentimes you'll try to get a barrel roll, but you'll end up landing flat on your back like a turtle. And the ramps, in my opinion, right now are in a very broken state. Not only are there those ramps that I just mentioned where sometimes you just won't get a full barrel roll and you'll crash due to no fault of your own, but there's also some ramps placed in really interesting locations. One of them is a ramp that goes through a crisscross section of the track where if you go up it, there's a 90% chance that you crash right into the bridge of the other track. There's also another ramp that you actually cannot get to as far as I'm aware. It's actually after a corner, but on the opposite side of where you go out of that corner. So I have no idea how any car, maybe besides the Corvette, is even supposed to be able to get on that ramp at all. There's also a couple of ramps where as soon as you land, you hit a wall 90 degrees head on, so you either crash or you lose all your speed. And overall, the ramps in this track are very questionably placed. Now, hopefully this can be addressed in updates after some player feedback, because the ramps are obviously a really important part of Asphalt 9's gameplay, and it would be a shame if there is a track where it's actually optimal to avoid ramps like it seems to be so far with Paris. Now, something I want to mention, of course, is we are all brand new to this track, so there's a lot of things we are still learning. For example, another content creator by the name of Admega, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, but they discovered that the subways in the actual subway, so the trains, when they go past you, they actually affect your speed. Now, you'll see a little whoosh of air, a little smoke right next to the train when you go by it, and depending on the direction of the train, either you speed up a lot or you slow down. Now, this is a very interesting mechanic, probably using something similar to what we've seen in Greenland with the plane. Now, it'll be really interesting to see how players take advantage of this or how they try to avoid the oncoming train that slows you down. But I think this is a very interesting mechanic that I'm excited to learn more about. Now, I do want to talk about the positives, and one of my favorite parts of the track is definitely going under the Eiffel Tower with that long straightaway. That is one of the few sections of this track where you can actually get up to your top speed, and it is very beautiful. Now, unfortunately, this track is pretty flat like I feared. Looking at the overview of the track, I said that if it's a very flat track, that won't be very fun for dynamic gameplay. And there are a couple of times where you do get some gnarly airtime, but unfortunately, it just seems like overall this track is really flat, and a lot of the times you're just on the ground with all four tires on the asphalt. So going back to the discussion of top speed, where there's a lot of places in this track where you're going throughout the city, there's crisscrossing sections of the track, and because it is always moving, because there is always a corner at all, you end up not being able to get to your top speed a lot. And that's really the issue I'm having with this track, is because right after that section, there's a very windy, twisty section where Huracans and Corvettes just completely smash any other car. And in my opinion, those parts really cancel out the other sections like the subway station and under the Eiffel Tower, where you can actually reasonably get to your top speed. So again, as I said before, all of this is going to come down to learning the track more, finding the optimal routes, and finding all of those little tricks like we've had for all of the other tracks. So I'm not necessarily giving you guys my final opinion. Like I said, this is my first impressions of the track, but so far it's hard to see if this is going to be a top speed track at all. So anyway guys, like I said at the beginning, please leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm very curious to hear what you think of the track, as well as any tips or anything that you've found interesting about the track so far. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys later.